I've been a Laker fan since I was a kid. I remember the Wilt Chamberlain Jerry West championship, 33-game win streak. I remember when Magic was drafted. I couldn't believe it. I was in a barbershop the day before Magic's first game as a Laker, and Magic was there. And I told my dad, I said, "Dad, it's Magic Johnson." He said, "Who am I? It's Magic." And I went over and talked to him about 40 minutes. He was still Urban then, kind of in some ways, but it was Magic. I'll never forget, I was working on Living Color when Magic announced that he came down with HIV, the AIDS virus. We were devastated. I'll never forget that day. It was like, Magic was a family member. That's how strong, we felt about him. And here being in Los Angeles, being a Laker fan, and, it felt like the end of an era in so many different ways, Thank God Magic, has been almost a symbol of the fight against that and everything. But it seemed like the Lakers as a team, like when it came to the 90s and everything, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then we got Shaq and Kobe and everything changed, man. It was amazing. And I remember when Kobe first came on the team, he was so young. And back then, people weren't getting people right out of high school. I think Garnett was the year before. People weren't sure about what the Lakers were doing. And people forget about Eddie George. He was a legit swingman who was in Kobe's position back then. And I wasn't too sure about him, too. I still remember the air balls he threw up against Utah and everything. But I have to tell you, man, I'll tell you what won me over about Kobe Bryant in the early days was, I think a lot of people put obstacles and barriers in front of them that they impose themselves and arbitrary. And I think a lot of people don't know how much power and strength they just have naturally, And a lot of that strength just comes from trying something. When Kobe first landed in Los Angeles, he had a press conference and some Latino reporters were there. And Kobe knew just a little bit of Spanish. And he answered, "Sí," or that, whatever. But he made a promise to them. He said, "Guys, I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to learn Spanish." And he did. Like, he would watch Sábado Gigante with his family and stuff like that, and, he didn't consider that out of the realm of possibility. He spoke Italian at the time, because he grew up in Italy and English. But just to make that decision, because he knows that's important. That's an important thing to do. If these guys are going to ask me questions in Spanish, I should be able to answer them. If I have a lot of Spanish-speaking people in LA who are going to be my fans, I should be able to talk to these people. I mean, that's such a great example of just do something. Just do it. Don't put an end to it of, I might not be good or I can't do it. Who cares? That's what Mamba mentality is just get in the ring and just go at it, I remember when the sexual allegations came out against Kobe, man, that hit me really hard. Didn't know what to think about that, Here was this guy who I thought was awesome, idolized, and not knowing, well, who is this guy, I didn't know where to put Kobe during that time, and it took me a while, I'll be honest with you, because I'm keeping it 100% real. And I think over the years, just my love for the Lakers and my admiration of Kobe as a player was, just right up there. But I don't know if I had the same connection that I did before that moment. And it wasn't until Kobe retired, when I saw Kobe the man, and he seemed so much more relaxed. There seemed to be joy in him. And the way, God, now I'm getting emotional, man, because the way that he dedicated himself to his family, and the way that he took care of his girls, and he became this advocate for women's sports, because it's been out there for a while, but, sometimes you just need somebody powerful who's, not willing, who doesn't care about, just being, the front person for something. But the love he had for his girls, man, and his effort to rebuild his marriage, which was tough, for many different reasons. And, that was unmistakable. You can't lie about that kind of genuineness. And I fell in love with Kobe again. It took that journey to say, wow, I really admired that. And I was at two important Kobe games. I was at the game where he ripped his Achilles against Golden State. My brother and I were there. And we didn't know, because in the stands, we don't hear what the announcers are saying about it. We just thought, like he pulled a calf or something. And when he walked to the free throw, if you watch the game, the audience was like, oh, Kobe just walked to the free throw. Maybe he got kicked because we didn't know what was going on. But on TV, everybody was like, oh, shit, Kobe ripped his Achilles and he's going to the free throw line. So there, he was just Kobe being Kobe. And I remember seeing it later and just being so impressed by his determination. Nobody has played injured as much as Kobe has. His fingers would be like this sometimes when he'd go out on the court with this taped here and this out of the socket there, an ankle hurting, knee hurting. It's one of the undertold stories about how fierce of a competitor he was with himself too. And then the last game I was at when Kobe was there was not a game he was playing in. It was his last time at Staples. I shared this on my Instagram where he was there with his daughter, with Gigi. And I think about my relationship with my daughter and the times I've taken her to Laker games. And just, everybody was drawn to Kobe more than they were to the Lakers at that game. And I got to tell you, man, the determination that man had to turn his life around and to dedicate it to what he knew was so important is admirable. That is Mamba mentality as far as I'm concerned. And I miss you, Kobe. I feel sad about everybody that was on that helicopter. So sad. Those girls, all those girls who lost their lives, the two parents and the girl. It's just a tragedy. In Lakerland, nothing like this has ever happened. But, we'll go on. And that's how I feel about Kobe.